sides. Okay, so I will give you just the
spacebar.
Spacebar. Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm trying to do. But it doesn't. Let me see. Okay, no, I will do like this. This one always work. Should work. Okay, so I will skip this one, and just to give you a background why we want to do this. I mean, probably you know, some of you have, I recognize because you have attended the course that I've taught, some of you don't, so we just thought, since we don't know the people who is in the room, this idea will be to give you some background of why we run the eRISE challenge, okay? So surely most of you know that there's an increased amount of breaches related to security incidents. We know also that there are lots of regulation that most of the companies to fulfill. And at the same time, you know, the evidence was in front of you as I was trying to use this computer and I failed, is that software are pretty much complex. And in many cases in the future, they're going to be even more complex. Okay, so these are the challenges for today. And what we see here is many trends in new software development methods. New architecture, for instance, service-oriented architectures, clouds, mobile computing. So yesterday I was seeing some people browsing in the department, traveling around with a mobile phone, trying to use on-demand services on the floor of our department. And then they have also many different paradigms for designing software system, okay? And one of the key points that you have is that we have various methods to engineer them. Some of them you study in the course of computer security engineering, some of them you study in the course of organizational information system, and some of them you study in the course of requirements engineering. So for example, coming from Trento, you have surely seen the ISTAR methods, the goal-based method. If you were a student at Open University, probably they will have told that ISTAR was a wrong method and the problem frame were the good one. If you were a student in Norway at the Oslo University, then they will have told you that Chorus was the right method to use. And if you are a practitioner, for example, working for ISACA, which is the Association for Computer Auditors, they will have told you that Cockbit was the way. Other people will have told you that this standard, ISO 2000X, where X is 1, 2, 3, 4, will have been a different one. Working in a bank, they will have told that COSO is the way really forward. And if you look in the world, you see they have lots of people that do a lot of security methods in research. So lots of people in the US, and lots of people in Europe, a bit less than in the US. And they all propose new methods. This way to do it, this way or not to do it. And so the question that we want to do, to address in this challenge, is do those methods works? So you have used some of them, used them in the class. But we have only learned the Trento religion. What about the other religions? Maybe they work better. Maybe they work worse. You will never know. So the idea of this challenge is, can we understand why? So the idea is that we'll ask different researchers to join in this challenge and to empirically evaluate the different methods and see how and why participants intend to adopt the method. And then at the same time, investigate the weaknesses, the strength, and the limitation of the methods. Oops, sorry, wrong direction. So what is the study setting? The idea of the study is that we'll have a case studies in which you will compare the different, in which we will compare the different methods on the same practical problem. So a method will analyze risk and security requirements from an information system perspective. And then we'll see in this method we'll have different tools, different artifacts, and we'll compare the different artifacts. Some of them you have used, but some you have never seen before. So this is the idea. Compare the artifacts, compare how the people will be able to deploy the method. Oh, sorry, I always press the wrong one. So who will participate? So you will be the participants, or at least this will be the participants of the method. So master students for two different backgrounds. One from the University of Paris-Dauphine. This is more an MBA. It's not really a Master of Science, in which there are mostly people working on audit, IT architecture, security analysis. While the people in the University of Trento, they are more people that, like you are, attending this course. They are talking about computer science in general. So you have background of information systems. Who will be the method designer? Will be researchers and practitioners that have somehow designed some of the methods. Ontology, for instance, that will come from the US. Secutropus will come from London. Problem Flame will come from the Open University in Milton Keynes. They will come from Norway, Paris, and Trento will be, this is the variant. So you see there are different methods coming from all over the world, and the participants will try to use them and see whether they fail or succeed. So what out of this will done? So we'll divide the participants into groups of 3, and each one will learn, we'll have a brief training in a method with the guidance of a method designer. And the group will analyze security concern given a scenario. This will take a very practical industry scenario and using the defined security method. So you will not, in a sense, like in a company, if the company is its own standard, you cannot choose the method because the company says you're going to use this because this is the company standard. So you will be assigned more or less randomly the methods. So this group will work in CORAS, risk assessment methods, and then you will have to use CORAS in order to define the security requirements and the security objective of the method. So what each group will produce, the idea is that at the end of the exercise, you will be able to produce a recommendation for the Chief Executive Officer, presentation. CTO and CEO, they don't have time to read a complicated report. They need to take a decision, they spend 1 million euro of this, 200,000 euro of that, it has to be very short. And then you'll have to give priorities for recommendation. You came there, and the rationale of such recommendation. So that's what the group will be. Something very quick, a point in the agenda of a CEO lasts maybe half an hour, including questions, but lots of questions. If it's €1 million, if it's 2,000 euro, they don't have a point in the agenda. If it's 100,000, maybe 15 minutes. So you have to be able to summarize the recommendation in 15 minutes. And then a final executive report, which has to be very short again, because the guy doesn't have the time to read it. Maybe 1 page and 4 pages. For this, we've decided to make a little award for the best group. Probably an iPod would be the sort of given for the first group. So where the things will be organized, they'll be organized in 2 slots. One in the participant. There will be the May 13 in Paris. They will have a sort of meet the designer. Okay, it will be 1 day in which, divided in group, mixing with the students of Trento and Paris, we'll have sort of exchange of ideas and discuss with a hands-on application with the method designer. Then we'll have a second application phase in which first from the 14th to the 25th you will work remotely, or maybe you will not do anything. That's a chance. So you will be given some time to think in terms of the case study. And then on the 26th to the 27th, there will be the application phase. So you will come all together in a group, and then you will have to directly work and produce the recommendation. So the 27th, there will be at the end the presentation of all the different groups and for the best recommendation. Remember that this is not the moment in which we will give the award. The award will be given for the report after. But you will just at the end show, okay, we spent 1 day analyzing the system, analyzing the case study, and this is our recommendation for the CEO. And then we'll have sort of presentation of all the groups. So this period is for essentially, okay, you can read the methods, you can read the case studies, maybe you can work remotely with your colleagues, but most of the time you'll have other things to do. But it's also true in real life, because in real life they give you an assignment and then they give you tons of other things to do at the same time. And with this, describe briefly the idea of the exercise. So if you have questions more on the general idea, then later on I will go for a technical detail of organization, what does it mean for students from Trento participating in it and so on.
The training phase will be held here or?
Sorry?
Training phase will be held here?
Training for any phase?
Training phase.
Training.
Yes, sorry.
So it will be held here or?
No, it will be in Paris.
Because it's the date was like 9 to 13.
No, the 13th part, yes. You will.
9 to 13.
Yes.
No, only the 13 will be in Paris. The 13 will be in Paris, and the 27, 26 and 27 will be in Paris. But I have also, let me go to a different slide.